Hi, my name is Garrett Christopher, and this is my sports YouTube channel. This is part 2 of my first, what am I going to call it? I don't know yet. I'll figure it out. But this is part 2. I'm talking about the Dodgers, and specifically, Dave Roberts. All right. By the way, please visit GaretChristopher.com. You'll get more information on me. I have 2 other channels out there. There's Garrett's Take, which just talks about stuff in general, and Garrett's Movie Take, where I review or post-view certain movies. I did the Blues Brothers, so please check that out. All right. And by the way, please email me all your comments, questions. This is the one channel that I would expect tons of emails and talk. And it's just SoCal people, whatever. But Dodger fans, I know worldwide, please let me know what you think. And if you're not a Dodger fan, bring it on. Let's do it. And if you want to talk about other topics, let's talk about that too. As you can tell, I'm staying away from a certain topic right now involving the Dodgers. This is July 25th, 2021. And we've got someone else considering a pitcher and choking people. I'm staying away from that for right now. All right. So, coming to spring training, you've got 20 spots, 21 spots already filled, right? You know what's going to happen. You know where Clayton sits. You know where Justin Turner sits. You know where, Corey Seager, all these guys on down the line, right? And you have to decide some role players. This past season, you lost a couple of key guys, that went on. Jock went on. Kike went on. So great, you got to fill those gaps. You knew that was going to happen. No problem. There you go. So you fill them in. I knew going in that the bench was not going to be very good. It's improved. You brought in Albert, so you've got something there. And the persona just of him himself, I think, has improved the team. But coming in, you're using some rookies. You need some veterans off the bench, right? So I knew right off the bat we didn't have that one bat off the bench you can just rely on. I knew that coming in. They were surprised when Zach McKinstry started doing so well, but that's kind of tailed off a little bit. But just keep that in mind. There was some unrest there, which is kind of odd for a team that has all the money they have and the resources and knew this was coming. They knew Jock wasn't going to resign. They knew Kike wasn't going to resign. They know these guys. They want to play, and they weren't playing here. So there you have it. So the bench was not going to be good. We knew it going in, and they didn't go out and get anybody. So be it. All right. So here we are. So spring training, great. All the guys understand. You know that Justin's going to do this, and Corey's going to do this, and even now Will Smith. And then you get that. And then you got the other guys coming in and have to kind of be infused into the system. Okay, no problem. And then as the season progresses, you want to bring your pitchers on along. So you're managing the players at that point. The starters last 4, 5, 6 innings tops. Make sure your relievers don't go back-to-back games. Make sure you give Justin Turner every 4th, 5th day off. Mookie Betts and his injuries. All that stuff, right? So you're managing the players. I get that. I do. The first 40, 50 games, do that. Manage the players. Because your team is good enough to win the division, which is going to be very tough this year, by the way. The Giants are outstanding, and so are the Padres. And forget that the playoffs are going to be just a bear. But that's fine. Let's do that. But you have these guys who have spent 11, 12, 13, 14 years with the team and have spent the whole time that Dave has been there. They've been there. They know how this goes. Kenley knows he's a closer. He also knows the fact that he's blown some saves. So when he blew the one in Colorado, okay, and Julio's pitched to Jim, and you're up 2-1. And Blake Trinan mows him down with only 9 pitches necessary in the 8th inning. Manage the game. Bring Blake back in. Kenley just blew a save. Okay? Bring break, either one. Bring Blake back in. Right now, hitters can't see his ball. They cannot. It's just he's on right now. Manage the game. Bring him in. Knock it out. Boom. At that point now, you're tied with Frisco, okay, for the lead, all right, for the best record. No, you don't do that. You do the usual. You manage your players. You don't manage the game. Because if you manage the game, you leave Blake in, okay? You don't. You bring Kenley in. Okay, great. Let's give that a C+, C-. The real kicker was the next night. And I hate when I can predict something that's negative, because then it really ticks me off. Now, how many times do you have a reliever that pitches, was it 27 pitches when he blew that save? Okay? How many times does Dave bring that same reliever back in the next night? I mentioned in the first part of this little rant that there's 2 players that have kind of got us in trouble, and they're both outstanding players. Clayton Kershaw, you're incredible, and you're a Hall of Famer. But you've done some things last year against the Nationals, 2 years ago against the Nationals, that shouldn't have been done. He should not have faced, a couple of the players that he did. He got us out of the bind in the 7th. Why bring him back in the 8th? You shouldn't have done it. But you did, and we lost the game in the series. So be it. Game 5. He gives up the lead. We get 3 runs. What do? We bring Clayton right back out there. Makes no sense. They had him figured out. The Astros were kicking his butt, but Dave put him back in the game. Not managing the game, managing the player. I know it's a Hall of Fame guy, and he deserves our respect. I get that. Clayton's incredible. Far more of a human being than I'll ever be on top of his ability and prowess as an athlete. Kenley, same thing. Incredible. And his season this year is not bad at all. It's very darn good. One of the top relievers. But you got to know your players, and he knows them very well. He can see the trend. When Kenley messes up, it's not just one game. It's never been like that. When he messes up, it takes him about a week to get it right again. Sometimes 10 days. In this case, no. So what does he do the very next night? Now we're up 3-1. So I'm sitting there watching it with my wife. She's like, oh, good, they're going to win it. I said, no, they're going to bring Kenley in. There he is, warming up. So when they go to station break in the bottom of the 8th, there he is warming up, right? When it shouldn't be him, but it is. We're up 3-1. So what happens? I know, a couple of bad calls, yeah, so be it. But you can't leave it on that. They still got a double off him, and a single, and then a walk, and all this stuff. He gives it up, right? 4 runs they score, they win 5-3, there you go. But the thing here is this, and there was this talk, the commentators kept saying, by the way, I love, right now, I love Oral Hershiser commentating, and Joe Davis does a really good job too. I love them together. And they're talking about Dave Roberts wanting to bring Kenley back into the game because hey, you messed up last night, but let's get you right back in there. I have a couple of problems with that. Number one, Kenley Jansen has 11 years in the league. He should be confident enough to understand that, hey, I messed up last night. And also, number 2, I threw 27 pitches last night. And Dave never brings a reliever back in after that. But he did tonight. Makes no sense whatsoever. No sense whatsoever. So Dave, no bueno. I didn't like it. And I know you Dodger fans didn't like it either, right? So then we're up 1-0 on a Saturday night. He brings him in against the Rockies. Okay, great. Wonderful. Wish it would have happened against the Giants. But that's the other thing too. You're up against your rivals. You're up against the team that's in front of you, okay, in the National League West. You want that game. And if I'm a starting pitcher, if I'm Julio Urias or Walker Buehler, I'm livid. I am livid. Walker especially. There's no way Kenley should be in that game. No way. Sorry. Dave has broken my heart a few times. And I would not be sad to see him go. Something else about Dave Roberts. You know, Dave as a player was very scrappy, right? Well, remember, when Boston beat New York, what's the play that turned it around? What they talk about it turning around? Was Dave's stolen base, right? Getting that stolen base. How many stolen bases do the Dodgers have? It's not like they can't run. Now I know Mookie's injured, but even when he's not injured, he wasn't running a lot last year. Chris Taylor, very fast. Cody Bellinger, I know, hamstrings. But even when they're right, this team doesn't do the things that Dave Roberts did as a player. And there are times when the long ball is just not happening. Against some of the better pitchers, it's just not happening. Why not lay that bunt down? Why not steal that base? If you get out, but how many times have we had the guy in first who can steal a base, and next thing you know, double play? Very irritating. Dave, you're a huge reason why the Dodgers won last year. Why? Because you managed the game. You got away from managing the players, and you managed the game. Hey, thanks so much. GaretChristopher.com. We'll catch you next time.